Hey guys, Shadney back with another process video, and today's video is for the Love of Crafting and Sharing hop that we do once a month, every month on the 20th, and each month is a different theme or a different like challenge, I guess. Sorry, I didn't know, my brain stopped working for a second. Like a different theme or a different challenge. And so this month being November and Thanksgiving and all that, the theme this month is gratitude or thankfulness or what you're grateful for, or anything like that. And I worked through trying to decide what I wanted to do for that layout, for that idea, for grateful and thankful and all that. And of course I was gonna do Phil and India and Chewy, just, you know, your family, whatever. And I was looking for quotes and trying to get some inspiration. I just wasn't feeling it yet. So then on Instagram, I just stumbled upon, I follow Hallmark, like the Hallmark card company. And they always put out cute stuff anyways. I mean, they're just great for inspiration anyways. But they posted this on their Instagram the other day. Gratitude is like gravy, put it on everything. And so it inspired me to do this month's layout. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I have the perfect photo to go with that. And I have a picture of India just straight up eating gravy. Like literally it's just a bowl of gravy and she was eating it. So that is what we're doing today. I just printed that. I screenshotted it and just printed it like a photo. And we're going to use it as if it was a photo. And I'm just going to layer up behind it and then put a title and some embellishments. So, but I just thought you would want to hear kind of my background, what I'm thinking, because then I'm going to show you what I'm pulling in to use on this page and kind of the thought process behind it. So the first thing I did is I really like the pink with that brownish color. So I was trying to pull in kind of those kind of feelings colors. So I went to all my wood veneers and I wanted to pull in these little spoons because she's got a big old spoon eating her gravy. And then this was during quarantine. This was like when it all first started. So I pulled in the 2020, the one where we all stayed home. And then I pulled in the 2020 of that one, but I don't know that we're going to use that. We'll use one of those, but I'm thinking this one. And then I pulled in these little guys that kind of match and coordinate with those colors and like this color. And then I just pulled in a couple stars that I don't know if I'm going to use them or not, but they're there. So then I went and realized I had bought a big pack of this. It's from the Heritage Collection. If you watch on Amazon, every once in a while you can get big packs of paper like that for super, super cheap. And I think I paid like $8 or $10 for that whole pack. Anyway, so I pulled that out because that color kind of goes, it's not quite that brown color, but it's very close. It's like in between that brown and her hair color, kind of right there. So I pulled in that paper and then I started trying to think like what else embellishment wise and stuff I wanted to use. And then I realized this gives me the feeling of another collection. Fresh bouquet. So I thought the colors are just kind of perfect because it's got that pink is like that exact pink. And then it goes into like that peachy kind of pink as well. It's got that deep mustardy yellow. And then it's just got some nice neutral colors. I also pulled in these. They were just already on my desk. They're Felicity Jane little puffy stickers, but I figured the little hearts would be cute mixed in there. And I went ahead and pulled in a fresh bouquet. I don't have a whole lot of the collection of the embellishments, I should say. I got the big paper pad, the little paper pad, the chipboard, and those flower stickers. They're like foam. They're like chipboard, but they're on foam, if that makes sense. So we'll pull in a bunch of those, like those florals would be really pretty tucked in there. And like some of the little hearts and just make it real pretty. Lots of layers. And then I was trying to think of how I wanted to do the title, if I wanted to do an actual title. And I was going to do like Hello Gravy or something like, it wasn't going to be good. It was dumb. But just trying to think of something to do for the title. And then I thought, I remembered the phrase, it's all gravy. So the title's going to be, it's all gravy, baby. And so I wanted to do gravy out of these gold and white stickers. They are from their Swing is the title of them, what they're called. I don't know what collection they're from. And then these are from the Heritage Collection, and there's gold ones like that, and they kind of mimic the same gold and white and like kind of liney. So it'll do gravy out of this and then baby out of this. Then I realized this collection is a Freckled Fawn kit, and that kind of has the same kind of feeling. And I think I'm going to use those and dye them with pine needles, because that green kind of matches the leaves in the rest of the Fresh Bouquet collection. And use those, and then use these for the It's All. So it'll be It's All, Gravy, and Baby. And then these I probably won't use just because they're really pink and purpley kind of tones. I like them. I just don't think I'm going to use them for this. And then I pulled in these just for a little bit of texture. And it's a wedding collection. Yes, it seems weird, but I really liked these. They're kind of like a, what's that word? Like an amber color jewels. And then there's like it's hard to see with the what's it called, the glare and everything, but and then there's like a tannish color like pearl right there, and there's even like some little hearts. So I thought especially these I really wanted to bring in there. And then I pulled out, this is from the Sweet Story sticker book, and I just thought some of those tiny word stickers would be cute. The colors go well, and of course I showed you that. And then I also pulled in some of my labels because I figured we can use labels for something. So that is it. I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward. It's already been 7 minutes. I'm so sorry. And we'll try to get this layout put together real quick. So you will hear me on the voiceover. And yeah, so thanks. Bye. Okay, so I am back, and we are going to get started on this layout. The first thing I do is I pull out these little wood veneer leaves. They are from Freckled Fawn, but they're not from that collection. I'm not sure what monthly kit they're from, but they are from Freckled Fawn. I got them on a discount or sale, whatever, you know what I'm saying. There are 4 leaves in the set, and I wasn't going to do all of them, and then I decided to go ahead and do them just because I don't know when I'm going to use just one leaf in the future. And I end up layering them up, and I wasn't really super excited about them just when I got them. It was before I got my machine, so I was just excited to get wood veneer at all, but I wasn't like super thrilled with them. I mean, they were just another embellishment. It wasn't super exciting, but after I get them dyed and put them on their page, I'm obsessed with them. I love how they turned out. So just wait for that. It's going to be good. I went ahead and cut that branding strip off that paper, and then the first thing I'm going to do is go through and start pulling paper from the paper pads. I do pull a couple from the large paper pad. If you follow me a lot, you know I don't really like to get into my big paper. Like, I don't like to cut my big paper. I like to keep my 12 by 12s for backgrounds if at all possible. And so yeah, but I tore into a couple sheets just so I can get some bigger layers in there. So I did this bow for the very back layer. I'm going to pull 2 more, I think, from the 12 by 12, and then the rest will be out of the 6 by 8 sheet. This one is just a real thin strip I added. I didn't want to pull a whole lot of that navy in, but it does have that floral on it, so I thought that was really pretty and could bring in some of the floral bits. Then we pulled in this yellow rose paper. And honestly, if this yellow rose paper was like a little bit better planned wise for people who like to fussy cut and not like right next to each other, like all the roses, the flowers overlapping, I definitely would not have used this as a layer. I would have used it as a fussy cutting opportunity, but I just didn't really want to deal with it because they're overlapping so badly, and so it's just going to be a layering piece. But I do like that yellow. It brings like a little bit of a different yellow into the mix of it, a little bit lighter colored. And then we move on to the 6x8 paper pad. This one, I have a love-hate relationship with 6x8 paper pads because they're very, in my opinion, they're very hit or miss, because if they have foiling or like holographic or anything like that, it's always in the 6x8, but it's not in the 12x12. And I kind of want my 6x8 just to match my 12x12, but these are really pretty with the little accents of gold in them. But it's just, I wish it was all or nothing, like put the foil on everything or put it on nothing, because I want it to coordinate together. It's dumb. It's just an OCD thing. I went ahead and cut just a little strip of that one and did my border punch across it. We don't need a whole sheet back there. Just a little strip will do, and it'll give a little bit of texture up there on the upper left part of the layering bits. So I'm just going through and kind of trying to make sure that whenever I'm picking colors for each layer, that I'm kind of balancing it out throughout. I don't want one side to be all pinks and one side to be all blues, or all my pinks to be right next to each other that you can't see the differentiation between them. So I am just being kind of careful about going through all that. And then I will in just a second go through and ink all the edges. So once I have it all kind of ready to go, I do I like adding a little bit of layers that aren't all the way across, just so they're not perfect layers. Like adding the little bit at the top with the notebook edge and like that little strip on the right, stuff like that. It just gives it a little bit more of a messy kind of feel, but still clean. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it's just a little bit more like texture, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and go through and ink all the edges of all these pages. And if you've never watched me before, if I ink my edges, 99% of the time, I will ink them with a gray ink. And I feel like that gives you just enough of a distinction between your pages so that you can see between each layer a little better, and like a very distinct line between each, so you can see the distinct layers. I think I just repeated myself, sorry. But I like the gray because it's not super in your face, but it's just enough that it almost gives you the feeling of just a little bit of a shadow instead of like that very grungy vintage kind of look. So we like that around here. Then I've got all the layers ready to go, and I'm going to start adhering everything together. So once everything, sorry, my brain's totally not right. What I'm trying to say is, as I'm going through to adhere each layer together, what I'm doing is using the edge of my nail just to kind of fold up the edges of the paper a little bit, just to give it a little bit more texture. It's not all super, super flat. It's not necessary, and it doesn't like rough up your paper or make it look like it's not like distressed or anything like that. It just gives it a little bit of texture right there. Totally not necessary. It's just a personal preference of mine sometimes, and I've been doing it a lot lately, so you'll see it on a lot of layouts coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and start adhering these together. I am adhering some straight on with a tape runner, and then some I'm I'm adhering a lot of the layers together just with a tape runner, and then I'm going to go in and add some fun foam between where the photos are going and those back layers are going to go. So right now all of these are adhered just flat together. Then I'm going to go ahead and start working on the background and move from the back up to the top so that I know where to put my photos before I place them. So we're just trying to make sure how everything's going to go right now, and then I'll start adhering from the bottom up. Or not. Maybe I won't yet. Sorry, I'm a liar. That's apparently I'm not going to do that yet. And I do get like ink or something all over that little gratitude is like gravy piece. It's just printed on regular photo paper, so it gets messed up just like regular photos would. And it's kind of grungy and dirty looking by the end of it, but it's really not a huge deal. It's not enough that it bothers me or anything, so I leave it. You can easily go in and just change out that photo. I just didn't really want to deal with it because, you know, once it's there, it's there. So now what I'm doing, I'm trying to decide kind of how I'm going to layer up this floral cluster in the bottom. And in my head, I was going to add a lot of flowers down there to fill in, but I end up really only adding one big flower and some little stuff tucked in. So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere things down, you know, like how I said I was going to a minute ago. And I have the, again, I'm pulling up all the edges just a little bit just to give it some more texture. And this one, I am layering that yellow floral over the navy just in a way so you see the bottom edge is torn on both of them, and you see that bottom edge from both of them, so it just gives it a little bit more texture. Oh, I'm so sorry. A little bit more texture. And then I'll adhere that piece down. I did go ahead and adhere the notebook edge behind that rose paper so that I knew exactly where I wanted it layered instead of adhering it down and then having to try to move things or anything like that. And then of course had to stop in the middle of everything and refill my ink cartridge. That's not the right phrase. Not ink cartridge, tape runner cartridge. Sorry. My brain is all over the place, guys. If you are new here, I'm just a little bit crazy. So it gets a little weird over here. I'm so sorry. So now I've got all those background pieces done. I've got the photos all layered up behind them, and I'm going to go ahead and add some fun foam back there. I really like fun foam because it's nice and fairly thin, and it's easy to cut to the correct size. But I like, especially with photos, I like how solidly it covers with your foam. If you have to be careful sometimes with foam adhesive in your photos, because if you don't have it evenly across the back of your photo, when your stuff's in your albums, your photo can end up like kind of sagging in the middle, and kind of it just kind of messes up your photo. So I really like this because it keeps it nice and flat and solid. It is very sturdy across the back, so there's not going to be any sagging or any embellishments pushing into the photo or anything like that. So I think that is why I like the fun foam, and it's also super inexpensive. So and then once I have those all kind of layered up where I want them for mostly for certain, I start playing around with this floral piece and these leaves, and I did put that floral piece on a piece of wax paper just so that I could move it around and make sure I have it where I want it before anything gets adhered down flat. Okay, so those leaves, how they come, they have two that are completely cut all the way, and then they have one that is cut on half of it and solid on half of it, and then one that is completely solid. And I don't really want 4 leaves, and we don't really need 4 leaves. So what I did was I kept, I adhered one of the ones that has cut all over it over the solid one, so it gives it a little bit of a different look and a little kind of more depth to it. So I'll adhere those together, and then that'll leave me with 3 leaves, and I can just layer those up under there and under the flower. So, and I used liquid glue to adhere those down, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to mention that part. Those flowers too, they're on foam themselves, and they're super thick. It's like a really thin chipboard on, or a super thick cardstock on foam, so they're really sturdy, and it's kind of the perfect, like, I didn't have to add fun foam underneath it to make it stand out or anything like that. It's holding up its own very well. So now I'm going to the title, and I know some people don't like it. I have a quote on here that could be the title, but I like thickers, so we're gonna add a thickers title. And plus, once I realized that title, the It's All Gravy, I was really excited I had to use that. Plus, it's one of those things that you don't know that when India is older, they might not even know what that phrase means. So it'll be kind of a funny thing to look back on and have to explain something like that to her. So now I'm just going through and starting to adhere down these thickers because, you know, they're chipboard and they don't stick. So the ones that spell baby are on foam, so they're just fine. But the ones that spell gravy, they don't stick well at all. Then the tile alphas that I use, they do stick, but just for my own peace of mind, I usually end up using adhesive to glue those down as well, just to make sure that they're really stuck there, because they are so small, it's easy for them to get lost. And because it's like it is, it needs the apostrophe, so I did go ahead and use an apostrophe that matches from that Heritage Collection alphabet set, just to add the little apostrophe there. It bothers me if it's not there. And I'm also going to go in and above the photo on the right and add the date from when this photo was taken. This was during quarantine, like very beginning of quarantine. We weren't even seeing family at this time. And I'll be right back to my homework. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. India was coming down the hall to use the bathroom. Her and Phil are doing her homework, and usually you can't hear the people from the bathroom, like if they're just using the bathroom, but my child is very loud, so you would have heard her talking and singing and doing whatever she's doing while she's using the bathroom. So I figured I'd wait and spare you from that. So, like I think I was trying to say before, I go ahead and add the date up here with these letters. They are from Freckled Fawn as well. And if you like the tiny type little letters, theirs are really nice because they're nice, thick, like cardstock quality. So if you wanted to like pop them up on foam or something like that, they are very good for that kind of thing. I know some people, depending on how they use them, they don't like the thinner stuff, but these are really nice quality, the Freckled Fawn. I also like Pretty Little Studios little block alphas, or tile alphas, whatever they're called. But they are really thin, like sticker paper, which doesn't bother me, but just in case you're looking for those, and theirs are really thin, whereas Freckled Fawns are really thick paper like that. So I went ahead and pulled out the chipboard sheet from this pack just to pull in a bunch more little doodads all over. I add this little label up here on the top left. I went ahead and cut that with my scissors just because I wanted I didn't really want to have to add anything to the label. I just wanted a little bit of texture and that color up there on that top left, because that color like perfectly matches the leaves that we dyed with the Distress Oxide ink. I do add a little bow over the photo, and if you've not used any chipboard from American Crafts lately, the adhesive has gotten better. It's not great still, and I still add a little bit extra adhesive just to make sure for the most part, but it has gotten better than it used to be, just FYI. So I go in and I also add some little flowers around that big flower, just kind of tucking them under the edge so they're kind of coming out from under there. And then I go in and add some little hearts around the page. There's 3 little, well, 4, I guess, little hearts. No, 3. Yeah, 3. Sorry. I can't count, apparently. And I just kind of sprinkle those about to make my little cluster areas. My main embellishment area is going to be down at the bottom, like right around where the flower and the title are, where I put that label. That will be where a lot of my little sprinkly bits are going to be. Another area is going to be up at the top left corner where that label is. I did try to use this wood veneer, but it just didn't fit right, and the feeling I just didn't like it. It didn't feel right on this page. It didn't have the same, I don't know how to explain it, but I just didn't like it for this page. So we're going to set it aside and save it for later. I do go ahead and take those little wooden spoons and sprinkle those about. Those are from the hot cocoa bar collection set. And I just pulled the 3 little spoons out and sprinkled those about, because nothing else in that set really pertained to this specific, event, but she definitely was eating spoonfuls of gravy, so went ahead and added those in there. I'm trying to go in and decide where my brads are going to go. What I'm doing is when I decide where it's going to go, I'm drawing like a little tiny dot, and then I'll go back and punch all the holes with an awl. Just a word of advice: be very careful with your awls, because I stabbed myself with this one right there, and I think I even look at my finger, and it hurt pretty bad. So just FYI, be careful with them. No blood or anything. That's awesome, but yeah. And then I went ahead and added those brads. I did add the 2 that I talked about, the amber colored ones, jeweled ones, and then one of those little pearls. I do like to add them kind of in groups of 3s. Not that they have to be in the same areas, but just to kind of keep your eye moving around the page. It just feels more balanced. Obviously not a hard and fast rule, just my own personal preference. Then I'm going in and I add some little epoxies, 2 little plus sign epoxies, and I use some Stampin' Dimensionals behind those so that they pop up just a little bit. And then I use 1 plus sign in the wood button, and it's the same color as one of the epoxy pieces. And I did that down at the bottom where there's a lot more going on and there's a lot more depth down there, like with the flower has a lot of layers and stuff like that. So I figured putting that down there where there's a heavier weight is going to be better, because it gives it more dimension down there. I pull out some of these tiny word stickers, and the ones at the top say, "Be you, you're the best." And because India is very much herself always, but it is very like her to eat a bowl of gravy. Like, that is just something I'm not surprised that she would do. And then I added one on that little label on the left of the quote that says "Fun Times," and then later, I think after the camera stops, I'll go back and add a yay over there too, just because the whole label wasn't filled in, and it kind of bothered me. And then down at the very bottom, I put happy, heart, and love, which aren't really a huge important thing or anything, just, you know, general words for good memories. I go in and add some of these little pink hearts from the Felicity Jane pack. And actually, I think I use all the hearts from that pack, all the pink ones. I add a couple straight onto the photo, the gratitude is gravy quote photo thing. And then the ones I adhere to the rest of the layout, I do go back and add some glossy accents to help hold those onto the page because they're not super, super sticky. For some reason, I've noticed my puffy stickers just across the board aren't super sticky no matter what the collection is. So I've been adding extra adhesive to them no matter what lately. I also go in and add these little gold dots they're from a Jen Hadfield collection, I think. Oh no, they're from this. I do have gold dots from something else, but this is from this little Maggie Holmes puffy sticker set. It's a really, really old set that I got at Tuesday Morning like a long time ago. So I'm not sure. And I also pull out the little gold and white hearts out of that collection and add a couple of those. And then for the most part, that's all. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to go down to the description box and you'll see all the links for all the other awesome scrapbookers that are in this hop this month. There's a lot, so make sure you go like and comment, subscribe to all of theirs. And if you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day, guys, and happy scrapping. Bye.